Libby here. Hopefully some of you would have been following my diaries and you would have seen that I've shown you some of the equipment that we use in the lab for the MRD testing process. And today I'm actually going to tell you a bit more information about the actual testing process itself. So what initially happens at the beginning? Unfortunately, when a child is diagnosed with leukemia, the hospitals will collect a bone marrow sample and they'll send it here to the Children's Cancer Institute. And that sample is first processed by the tumour bank at the institute itself, and then they'll give us that processed sample, and then the MRD team will isolate that into DNA. So we use the initial diagnostic bone marrow sample from each patient to try and find a marker, and this is a marker that's unique to each leukemia, so it means we can then design a test for future tracking of their disease. So each test is designed with a fluorescent probe. So this is a probe that actually sticks to that marker in each child's DNA, and this is a fluorescent probe which can actually light up. So after each child receives their first round of treatment, which is about a month, the hospital will collect a new bone marrow sample that they send to us. It gets processed by tumour bank and we'll isolate that into DNA. So this is where the testing process actually occurs. So we'll be mixing that new bone marrow sample with the fluorescent probe, and we'll put it into our CFX machine, which hopefully you would have seen last week. So in this machine, that is a machine that can actually detect if there is any cancerous cells in that new sample. So what happens is, if there is still leukemia cells in that new bone marrow sample, it will stick together with the fluorescent probe and it will light up. So what happens is, unfortunately, the more leukemia cells there are in that sample, the more light it will emit. So the more it fluoresces, and the CFX will actually be able to detect that. So using this information, we are able to then kind of, calculate the amount of disease that's still remaining in the patient sample. The CFX is actually able to detect probably one cancer cell in about 10,000 healthy cells. So once we've estimated how much cancer cells are remaining, we can then generate a report, and this gets sent back to the child's hospital and the doctor, and then the doctor can change the treatment accordingly. So this usually takes about 4 weeks from when the patient first gets diagnosed to when we receive that first sample after some treatment. But obviously, once we've got a test developed, we can usually get a test result back to the hospitals in about 72 hours of us receiving that sample. So that, I guess, is a very, very quick overview into the MRD testing process.